Are you one of those people that read all the Kundalini books, all the spiritual help, self-help books, and yet you're stuck and you don't really have a lot of progress in your awakening, and you're wondering why your crown is not opening up yet, while you're doing all these practices or whatever you're doing? So let me help you. See, I worked as a healer for 13 years, and I started working as a healer about 1 year after my Kundalini awakening. That's after I started feeling everything is energy after my awakening. And so about 1 year after my awakening, I went to Mexico. I was dating this Mexican guy, and he grew up going out and eating peyote out in the Viracuta desert. So he took me out there. And that was my first time that I really worked with plant medicines or master plants. And during that trip, that was absolutely profound. The Viracuta desert is something else. It's one of the holiest places that I've ever visited on this planet. And peyote told me, after a long day out in the desert, being high on peyote and receiving lots of insights and guidance, and I was just an absolutely profound day and night. And as it was darkening, we made a fire, and I was sitting by the fire, and the fire was speaking to me. And Paul, the guy that I was dating, was sitting away communicating with peyote and some other things, but the fire was speaking to me, and the fire told me I was a healer. And the fire told me that I would just know what to do, that I should open up a studio in Vancouver, BC, Canada, where I was then living, and that I should start accepting clients, and I would just know what to do working with them. And so that's how I started working as a healer. And I'm really, really grateful for it, because the first year after my awakening, I was absolutely obsessed with reading everything that I could find. And at the time, this was back in 2011, there wasn't that much online about Kundalini. There were some obscure websites. I contacted a few people, but it was really not anything close to how it is now. But my guidance kept telling me, because I was looking for courses on how to become a healer and so on. And my guidance continues, like, you know what to do, just start accepting clients. So I started putting out flyers all over town in Vancouver, and clients started to come. And in the beginning, I just did per donation, and then I started charging money. And I'm so grateful for that, because I learned by just listening and following through. There was no guidelines or anything. Everything was through intuition. And so I've come across people that read all the books, they know the meridians, they know everything, and yet they're completely disconnected to their intuition and their internal guidance. And so they follow this, like, this is the book, this is how it's supposed to be. And in my experience, having worked now as a healer for 13 years, it's never, ever like that. Like, if you have a blockage in your crown, you might first often have to dissolve something that sits somewhere completely in a different place in your body, like your solar plexus or your sacral or your feet or your earth star chakra down below your feet, or something in your hand. And it might not just be one thing, it might be many different things in different parts of your body that is kind of the build up to this blockage that you're experiencing in your crown. So the focus that many get from reading books about the Kundalini and how the Kundalini awakens, and this obsession with that the Kundalini should pierce the crown, is so false. There are so many examples of people that are just, and I know I've spoken about this in other videos, but this is really important. There is such an obsession with the crown and the third eye that the rest of the energy field is often completely ignored. And this leads to lack of results, lack of evolution, lack of that. And so what I'm so grateful for my path is that I learned to listen. I learned to follow, and in between learning lots from healing people through just intuition and my awareness of guiding and listening to what I was supposed to do, I found a way, and I found my own method of doing it, and it's been extremely successful. And the thing is that we have this immensely intelligent system, technology, each one of us within our body. And even if your Kundalini, your energy is not awake or even activated, you still have that guidance system because you're alive, you exist, you have life force within you. And the guidance that comes from this life force. So the technology, the wisdom that's within is so intelligent, it's super intelligent, and it comes from the life force. It is the Kundalini energy. However little that trickle of life force is within you, it's there. It cannot be there. It has to be there because you're alive, you exist, you're part of divinity. And so this intelligence, every time you have a pain, your awareness will go there straight away. If it's sharp pain, it's very hard to ignore. And that is because your awareness is the healing. And so instead of focusing on opening your third eye or your crown, listen to the sensations within your body. Learn to quiet your mind. Learn to let go of everything that you've ever learned through books. Like really let it go. Understand that you are unique. There is no specific pattern for how you will awaken. There is no specific guidelines or books for your unique way of unraveling into your divinity. Instead, that comes through listening and following the subtle guidance that comes through the sensations within your body. So sitting or laying down and just going deep within and being present and observing the sensations within your body. And you will also find that as you're observing the sensations within your body, your mind will quiet down. Here's an easy trick. Try focusing on two sensations at the same time in your body and your mind will go quiet. You can't focus on two sensations at the same time and still think. It's impossible. Try it, please. And so, learning to follow these different sensations, these somatic sensations within your body through your awareness. You can ask them to release, but really it's your presence. It's just being with it, fully present. And the greater presence you have, the greater self-healer you become. And the ability to stay within discomforts within your body will help to dissolve the pain, the obstructions, the blockages. And so it's learning to follow these subtle signals and sensations within your physical body. And that will lead to the unraveling of your light body and the awakening of your Kundalini energy. Because as you create more space within your energy field, you allow the space for the Kundalini to open and flow through you. And if you find that you're scared of the energy or the energy is uncomfortable, it's never the energy. The energy is love, it's bliss, it's joy. What's uncomfortable is what the energies that the light force is pushing on. The blockages, the stuck emotions, the stuck thought forms that has been lodged within your being through thousands and thousands of different lifetimes. And that's been building up. So really, of just going within and observing and being present and allowing your awareness to scan within you. And it's so subtle, it's so gentle sometimes, and sometimes it's really, really strong. But in the beginning, it's going to be subtle. You might feel like you're not doing anything. And it's allowing yourself to become curious, especially in discomfort. It's like, why is your stomach feeling so dull? Well, what is that pressure of your chest? And if you have numbness, what is the numbness? What is underneath that numbness? What is that numbness hiding within you? And you will see that as you unravel each blockage, because you will, it will lead you to the next and the next. So it's like unraveling an onion, like peeling an onion layer by layer by layer, until you get to the core, and then there's no more. And then you'll find a sensation in a different part of your body, and then in a different part of your body. And it's not logical. That's why you can't read the books. The books can give you an idea, but it's not the truth that the idea is true. And the only way to know if something is true, like really know, if someone is lying or someone is telling you something false, is because you will feel it in your body. So this technology, this ability to sense and feel and listen, and is leading you to your intuition, your inner guidance, to know if something is true or something is false. And it's also knowing that the people that have written the books, they don't know everything. They're sharing their version of the truth, and maybe that's been handed down by someone else. And the most important, have they had the true experience? Or is this just handed down information? And from how many mouths have this information been handed down? How do you know? The only way you can know is through your inner knowing. You can sense if something is wrong or something is true. And that's what I found in my journey, was as I was working with more and more people, and I was also reading a lot of books and different things, and I realized that a lot of things that I was reading didn't make any sense. And you can have enlightened experiences. It doesn't make you perfect. All enlightened people that I've ever come across are flawed. Not one is perfect or have been perfect. I've never written a scripture that is perfect. If it is, it's just a few words. It's like, you are everything, you're God. Okay, cool. Now how do we heal? How do we live in life? And so the true perfection, the true teaching comes from the within. It cannot not come from within. Our whole technology, our whole system is guided for us to go within. And the only way to know where we have delusion, where we are seeing things through distortions, where we don't see the truth, is by testing it. We have to be willing to fail to learn. We have to be willing to try. And the idea of perfection blocks us so immensely. And understanding that all the layers of conditioning that we've received from society, from our parents, even though through their immense love, if we've been so lucky, still had flaws and taught us ways and things that were not true. And so through listening, through going within, and through unraveling, finding our own truth, we will also find our own authenticity, our own unique truth, our own unique expression. And that is really the work of polishing our inner by allowing this divine light to come through and allow us to shine our unique self. And aim for that instead of perfection. And I would even surrender the goals of having the Kundalini awakened. Because most people that I find that are doing that are so stressed. They're so stressed. There's such a burden they carry. And so where is the joy? Where is the love? Where's the peace? And so I would aim for that. That would be my recommendation. Aim for that, and then allow the Kundalini awakening to be a side result of that, because it will come. Thank you for watching. So much love.